All right, so you're gearing up for a Farrier job interview.
How exciting.
We've got a whole toolkit from RoleCatcher to help you prepare,
Oh, yeah.
their Farrier career guide,
Mm-hmm.
their interview guide,
Yeah.
and even sneak peek at their AI tools.
It's like having a master farrier whispering secrets in your ear, right?
Exactly. Our goal today is to make sure you walk into that interview feeling confident and ready to impress.
And remember, this is a specialized field.
Right.
So your passion for horses and your technical knowledge will really set you apart.
Okay, so let's dive into RoleCatcher's interview guide.
All right.
They've got 10 common Farrier interview questions,
Okay.
and we're going to break down each one.
Sounds like a plan.
Question number 1.
Okay.
Describe your experience with equine anatomy and physiology.
This is your chance to show them you're not just a horse enthusiast.
Right.
You understand the science behind hoof care.
So don't just say, I love horses, right?
Exactly. Mention specific courses, certifications, or even books you've read that demonstrate your knowledge of equine anatomy, especially the hoof.
Like, I completed a Farrier science program, or I'm currently studying the latest research on laminitis.
Perfect. And be ready for follow-up questions.
Okay.
They might ask something like, what are some common hoof problems and how would you identify them?
Ooh, that's where you can really show off your expertise. Let's say they ask about laminitis.
Sure.
What kind of details should you give?
Talk about the causes,
Uh-huh.
the symptoms,
Okay.
and how you would assess the severity.
Okay.
You could even mention different shoeing techniques used to manage laminitis.
That's a great point. Showing that you can connect the anatomy to actual hoof care practices is key.
Absolutely. And remember, the RoleCatcher AI tools can help you practice these answers.
Oh, right.
You can record yourself and get feedback on how clearly and concisely you're explaining these complex topics.
That's so helpful. It's like having a personalized interview coach in your pocket.
Exactly. Now let's move on to question number 2. Right.
How do you approach working with a difficult horse?
The unpredictable equine factor.
Yes.
Safety comes to mind immediately.
Absolutely. Highlight your focus on safety, both for yourself and the horse. Explain your strategies for calming a nervous or resistant horse.
So instead of saying, I just muscle through it, you might say,
I prioritize a calm and patient approach. I use gentle handling techniques, clear communication, and positive reinforcement. I also make sure to assess the horse's body language and adjust my approach accordingly.
that shows you're thoughtful and skilled, not just forceful.
Right. And they might ask a follow-up question like, have you ever had to refuse to shoe a horse due to safety concerns? How did you handle that?
That's a tough one.
It is. But honesty and professionalism are key. You could say, yes, there have been times when a horse's behavior was too dangerous to continue. I explained the situation to the owner and recommended they consult a veterinarian or trainer.
That demonstrates that you take safety seriously and prioritize the well-being of both you and the horse. Exactly. Now, before we move on to the next question, I want to mention something interesting from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that the demand for farriers is projected to grow by about 9% over the next decade?
Wow, that's pretty significant.
It is, and it highlights the importance of making a strong impression in this interview. This is a career with great potential.
Okay, on to question number 3. Can you describe your process for shoeing a horse?
This is your time to shine. Walk them through each step from preparing the hoof to fitting the shoe.
So don't just say, I trim the hoof and nail on the shoe.
Right, be detailed and methodical talk about evaluating the hoof's conformation, removing the old shoe cleaning and trimming the hoof, selecting the appropriate shoe, fitting it properly, nailing it securely, clinching the nails, and finishing the foot.
It's like a carefully choreographed dance between you and the horse.
Exactly, and a potential follow-up question could be, what are the differences between hot shoeing and cold shoeing? When would you choose one over the other?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You'd want to demonstrate your knowledge of both techniques and your ability to choose the best approach for each horse.
Right, and again, RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help here.
Oh, yeah.
Their platform has specific modules for different types of farrier jobs, so you can tailor your answers to the specific requirements of the role you're interviewing for.
That's amazing. It takes the guesswork out of figuring out what the interview is really looking for.
Exactly. Okay, moving on to question number 4. How do you stay up to date with industry developments?
This one's all about showing your passion for continuous learning.
Right. Mention industry publications like the American Farriers Journal or the Equine Veterinary Journal.
Okay.
Talk about conferences or workshops you've attended. Maybe even mention a specific new technique or technology you've been researching.
Like, I recently attended a clinic on the latest advancements in corrective shoeing using 3D imaging.
Perfect. That shows you're not just keeping up. You're pushing the boundaries of your knowledge. A good follow-up question they might ask is, what's a recent development in Farrier science that you find particularly interesting?
That's a chance to really geek out a bit and show your enthusiasm.
It is, and remember, genuine enthusiasm is contagious.
Right.
It shows the interviewer that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking to contribute to the field.
Okay, that's 4 down, 6 to go. We've covered some essential ground here.
We have, and we've also touched on how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your responses and practice your delivery.
Which is a game changer, especially when it comes to showcasing your knowledge and expertise in a concise and confident way, ready to tackle the next batch of questions.
Absolutely, bring them on. Welcome back to our deep dive on landing your dream farrier job.
We've covered some important ground,
Yeah.
from highlighting your equine anatomy knowledge to showing your calm approach with difficult horses.
But remember, every horse and every shoeing job is different.
Which brings us to question 5 from RoleCatcher's Interview Guide.
Okay.
Can you describe a difficult shoeing job you've encountered and how you approached it?
This is where you can really demonstrate your problem-solving skills.
Right.
Think about a time when you faced an unusual hoof conformation or a severe hoof problem, or maybe even a horse with a particularly challenging temperament.
It's all about showcasing your ability to adapt and think on your feet.
Right. Exactly. Walk the interviewer through your thought process. What were the specific challenges? What options did you consider? How did you modify your usual techniques?
And of course, emphasize the positive outcome.
Absolutely. Did the horse become more comfortable? Did the hoof condition improve? Did you gain valuable experience that you can apply to future cases?
This is also a chance to show that you can collaborate with others like veterinarians if needed.
Excellent point. Highlighting your teamwork skills is always a plus.
Okay, moving on to question number 6.
All right.
How do you handle a disagreement with a client about the best course of action for their horse's hoof care?
This one's all about communication and diplomacy.
Because at the end of the day, you're working with both horses and their owners.
Precisely emphasize your ability to listen carefully to the client's concerns, explain your recommendations clearly, and find a solution that benefits the horse while respecting the client's wishes.
But what if you truly believe the client's request is not in the horse's best interest?
That's where setting professional boundaries comes in. You might say something like, if a client insisted on a course of action I felt was detrimental to the horse, I would respectfully explain my concerns and ultimately decline to perform the work.
That shows you prioritize the horse's welfare above all else.
Exactly, and it demonstrates your ethical commitment to the profession.
Now, question number 7 takes us into the fast-paced world of farriery.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to work under tight time constraints?
Ah, yes, the juggling act of appointments and unexpected situations.
They want to know you can handle the pressure and still deliver quality work.
Precisely share a specific example where you had to manage your time, effectively prioritize tasks, and stay focused despite deadlines.
Maybe a time when you had multiple shoeing appointments back to back, or an emergency situation that required immediate attention.
Perfect examples. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you structure your answers and practice your delivery so you can confidently convey your ability to handle these high-pressure situations.
That's reassuring, especially if you're someone who gets nervous in interviews.
Absolutely. Preparation is key to feeling confident and composed.
Okay, question number 8 shifts our focus to safety. How do you ensure that you maintain a safe working environment for both yourself and the horse?
This is non-negotiable in farriery. You're working with large animals, heavy tools, and often in unpredictable outdoor environments.
So it's about protecting both yourself and the horse.
Absolutely. Talk about the safety protocols you follow religiously. Things like wearing appropriate clothing and steel-toe boots, using hoof stands and cross ties, and always being aware of the horse's body language and your surroundings.
And also, what you don't do, like working on a horse that's loose or unrestrained.
Exactly. Preventing accidents before they happen is essential.
Now, this next question really lets you show off your specialized knowledge.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Question number 9. Can you describe your experience with corrective shoeing?
That's the one. This is your chance to highlight your expertise in addressing specific hoof problems and imbalances.
Think about cases where you've used therapeutic shoeing to manage conditions like laminitis navicular disease or angular limb deformities.
You'd want to explain the different shoeing techniques you've used and the positive results you've achieved.
And don't be afraid to get into the details. Discuss how you assess the hoof, choose the appropriate shoeing method, and monitor the horse's progress.
It's a chance to showcase your depth of knowledge and your passion for helping horses regain soundness.
Exactly. Now, before we tackle the final question, let's take a moment to appreciate the variety within farriery.
That's right. RoleCatcher's Career Guide talks about different farrier career paths.
Yeah.
You could specialize in therapeutic shoeing work with specific breeds, or even focus on the racing industry.
It's a field that allows you to tailor your career to your interests and strengths.
Okay, ready for the last question from RoleCatcher's Interview Guide.
Yeah, bring it on.
Number 10. Can you describe your experience with hot shoeing versus cold shoeing?
Here, they're assessing your familiarity with both traditional and modern techniques.
You'll want to explain the advantages and disadvantages of each method and discuss when you might choose one over the other.
And if you have experience with hot shoeing, be sure to emphasize your safety protocols. That's always a top priority.
So we've now covered all 10 of RoleCatcher's interview questions. That's a lot of information to process, but hopefully it's given you a solid foundation for your interview prep.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI tools can help you personalize your answers, practice your delivery, and really nail those tricky questions.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I want to highlight one more gem from RoleCatcher's Career Guide, the importance of networking.
Ah, yes, building connections within the farrier community.
They recommend joining professional associations, attending conferences, and reaching out to experienced farriers in your area.
It's all about learning from others, sharing knowledge, and building relationships that can support your career growth.
And who knows, you might even find your next job through those connections.
Great point. Now, we've covered a lot in this episode, but there's still one more piece of the puzzle to explore.
Oh, right.
Those external resources that RoleCatcher provides.
Yes. Those links to industry organizations, publications, and other valuable resources, they're like a treasure map to further knowledge and opportunities.
Exactly. We'll dive into those in the final part of our deep dive, so be sure to join us then as we uncover even more ways to help you land that dream farrier job. Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into landing that dream farrier job.
We've covered the interview process, right?
Yes.
Those tricky questions.
Yeah, we have.
And even different career paths.
But before we send you off to conquer that interview, we need to explore one last treasure trove.
Right.
Those external resources that RoleCatcher provides.
Ah, yes, those links to industry organizations, publications, and all sorts of farrier gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These resources can give you a real edge, whether you're looking for more specialized knowledge networking opportunities or even just staying up to date on the latest trends.
Let's start with the professional associations.
Okay.
First up, the American Farriers Association.
Okay, that one sounds like a must-join for any aspiring farrier.
It really is. Their website is a fantastic resource with information on certifications, continuing education courses, a mentorship program, and even a job board.
Wow, a job board.
Yeah.
So you can see what kinds of opportunities are out there and connect with potential employers.
Exactly. And they have regional chapters.
Okay.
So you can meet farriers in your area and build those all-important connections.
What other associations did RoleCatcher list?
Well, there's the Guild of Professional Farriers, which focuses on high standards of craftsmanship and ethics.
That sounds like a great way to show potential clients that you're serious about your work.
It is, and they also offer certification programs which can really boost your credibility.
Okay. Any resources for farriers outside the U.S.?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher includes a link to the British Farriers Association, which, as you might guess, is based in the UK.
So no matter where you are in the world, you can find a community of farriers to learn from and connect with.
That's right. Now let's move on to publications.
Okay.
RoleCatcher links to the American Farriers Journal, which we've mentioned before.
Right. That seems like the gold standard for staying current on farrier science and practice.
It is. They have articles on everything from anatomy and shoeing techniques to business management and the latest research findings.
And for a broader perspective, they also link to the International Federation of Horse Racing Authorities.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
It shows how farriery plays a crucial role in the world of equestrian sports.
You can see how different disciplines have specific hoof care needs and how farriers adapt their skills to meet those demands.
Exactly. And they even have a link to the Occupational Outlook Handbook from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics.
That's super practical.
Yeah.
You can get a sense of salary expectations, job growth trends, and what the overall farrier market looks like.
It's all about being informed and making strategic career choices.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from interview prep to career resources.
You're now armed with knowledge strategies and a whole network of support.
Combine that with your passion for horses, your dedication to the craft, and a little help from RoleCatcher's AI tools, and you'll be unstoppable.
Remember, your enthusiasm and your genuine care for the horse's well-being will shine through.
That's what truly sets a great farrier apart.
So go out there, nail that interview, and embark on this incredible journey.
And remember, as you progress in your farrier career, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those hooves healthy.
The world of Farrier is always evolving, and there's always something new to discover.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration